Go, go, go. I won't stop the interview until you come back, okay? We will talk for 1 hour. And then anyway, lawyer a bit.
By the time Louis is...
Everybody push back a bit, never mind. And most Byzantine I cut a bit, because Byzantine they're not Viet. No?
Tín hiệu sao rồi, ok nha. Không có đụng chạm gì tới luôn á. Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
We got a good.
We can go.
One of you stand there, make sure nobody comes. Alright, 3. Hi, my name is Ronald. I'm from Huobi. And today we're going to have an exclusive interview live at Blockchain Festival Vietnam together with TomoChain CEO Long. Long, can you introduce yourself to the camera and the hundreds or thousands of people watching back home at the live stream? They come from everywhere around the world, so maybe tell them about yourself and tell them something interesting about yourself as well.
Okay. Hi Ronan and hi everyone. My name is Long Vuong. I am a CEO of TomoChain. Right. So TomoChain is a new public blockchain. We try to address the scalability issue with Ethereum, and the blockchain is really good for building decentralized application for token issuance and integration. And we try to have the lowest fee possible and the fast confirmation.
As you have told me about TomoChain, you have not told me about yourself.
Okay.
Tell the viewers back home about yourself.
So I came from more academic background. I spent like 8 years in Massachusetts doing my PhD in economics.
Wow, okay, from MIT, is that?
Not MIT, it's the University of Massachusetts.
Okay, still really good.
So that was like in 2014, early 2014, I got into blockchain. Right, at that point, the community was on the Bitcoin Talk forum, right, and then I started NEM. That is a very successful project as well.
You started it?
Yeah, I co-founded in 2014.
In 2014. So we have also NEM today here at the Blockchain Festival Vietnam, and I also right after this, after a few more interviews, we will have NEM coming down as well. So if I knew that, I maybe would have put you and NEM together, and then we can have a little chat, reunion chat.
No, actually, I met with the team several times already in Ho Chi Minh City in the Blockchain Week, right? And also we say hello in Blockchain Festival. They are good team, very solid team, and the project will have been very successful because I left quite early. I left in like middle of 2014, and what they have been doing is really good.
Do you regret leaving them, or do they regret you leaving them? 2 questions.
Okay. So basically I was there at the beginning, co-founded project, and then when they released alpha like in July 2014, I left to start to finish my program study back in the US. Yeah. Of course, NEM then at that point, right, the blockchain is very new, and NEM is very small project at that point, right? The market cap is like 10 million something,
very
right,
small,
in 2014,
yes.
right?
Yes.
So yeah, I think everyone have their own right direction and kind of like how can I say, like a destiny.
Yeah.
Right? So that's I don't think it's something I regret because I'm doing what I want to do.
So starting out on your own, starting TomoChain, creating your own company, would you say that you're fulfilling your destiny right now? And are you having fun fulfilling your destiny?
I think back then 2014, I have like a thesis, right? I'm looking at Bitcoin, and I talk about it like it will be like the money of the internet, and Bitcoin is like a programmable money. But then I think if it's just money, right? So why do we need a second or third blockchain, right? I actually developed my thesis a little bit later, right? I'm thinking of blockchain ecosystem now is like the new paradigm of finance and new financial system of the future. And thinking in that way, you know, it's allowing for more kind of different blockchain to coexist together, right?
So in this vision of what you think blockchain is going to fulfill in this industry and for the world, where do you think TomoChain will fit itself? Where is TomoChain's space in your vision?
We have a few innovation, especially we focusing on the consensus algorithm. We are developing from Ethereum code base, and we actually trying to keep close tabs on the Ethereum ecosystem. The chain we make to the consensus algorithm, I think, is necessary, right? Because we are building on a kind of the masternode architecture that allowing for faster confirmation time and cheaper fee.
So you were mentioning about consensus mechanism like twice already. Let's
Yeah.
go straight into it. TomoChain uses one that's called proof of authority. Tell me more.
Okay, so that's the interesting part, right?
Okay.
So we started with TomoChain, developing the concept of TomoChain kind of in the mid 2017, and then so we started to do the ICO. At that point, I wrote the white paper, and we actually thinking of doing like a series of chain based on the proof of authority. What is the proof of authority? It's actually a very simple consensus mechanism,
No,
right?
tell the viewers back home.
So basically, the authority as a masternode, right? They just need to have each of them need to have like a secret key to validate the transaction.
You said secretly.
Secret key.
Oh, secret key. All right.
Yeah.
I
So
heard
like
that.
they are sharing the same secret key, and any node that have the secret key can validate the transaction.
How do
and
they get the secret key?
produce the block?
Okay.
It will come from the a mechanism outside the chain, right? So we will have like off-chain governance, right?
Yes.
To make so off-chain governance to make sure who has the node, the full node, right? That's how the proof of authority works.
Tell me the philosophies of this
But
off-chain governance.
actually, I have
Yes, yes,
to
come on.
elaborate a little bit more.
Oh, sure.
So, POA is a very simple algorithm,
Okay.
right? Consensus algorithm, and it works, but it's a little bit, I think, how can I say, like it's a little bit more centralized, right? Even and it's not, it's off-chain governance. So that is we dealing with the governance somewhere outside the chain. So that's the reason. Okay, well, we actually working on the second technical paper now, focusing on the what we call POSV. That is
POSV.
that is proof of stake voting. So we actually moving to the direction of more permissionly.
Okay. More
So-
permissionless.
Yeah, more permissionly, and we already have the testnet for POA, and it's running quite well already. So we have the testnet running for 2 months already.
And how is it? Can you give us more details about the testnet performance?
We have the testnet, and it is doing 1,000 transactions per second.
1,000
already.
transactions
Yeah.
per second. So before, when we first started the interview, you said that TomoChain looks to solve the scalability issues of Ethereum.
Yeah.
So does that mean that the fate of TomoChain is really dependent on how scalable or how Ethereum managed to scale? Because if Ethereum managed to get it done, then where is the position for TomoChain?
I actually have to answer for that question.
Great, give me
right?
all.
So the first one is if you look at Ethereum, they
Yes.
have like 30,000 full nodes,
Okay.
right? They have mining process. So in a way, I don't think the leadership team of Ethereum, Vitalik, for example, he don't want to kind of reduce the number of full nodes.
Yes.
But then, if you don't have the big node that can process a lot of transactions and can, for example, compute the smart contract faster, then there is a barrier to how scalable the Ethereum chain can be, because they want to be very decentralized.
Yeah.
So that's one trade-off we try to make, right? We want to build the chain based on masternode architecture. Masternode here have to pass the technical requirement,
Okay.
right? So they can process more transactions and they can compute the smart contract faster. I think that's something very different in design compared to Ethereum, and I don't think we will convert. Right, we are still learn from each other.
Okay.
TomoChain learn a lot from Ethereum development, and later on, we actually think we want to contribute to Ethereum in some way, ecosystem in some way, especially for example, like on the smart contract. Kind of validity of smart contract. We can work on that because we share the same programming language and the EVM.
You guys use Solidity.
Yeah.
Alright. So that is one answer. You told me you have two answers. So what is the second answer?
The second answer is more like on the vision, right?
Yes.
The vision and more like how the big picture is going to play out.
All right.
For me, like I mentioned earlier, I'm thinking of the whole public blockchain space.
Yes.
Is a new financial system.
Okay.
New banking system,
Okay.
right? If you think about it, like Ethereum is can be like a bank.
Can be like, sorry?
A bank,
Okay.
right? Public blockchain is a bank. That's the thesis I'm developing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about, right, what can you do with the bank right now? How can you interact with the bank right now? For example, you give the money in the bank. You use a bank to send the money to your friend. You have the salary deposited in the bank. You have like your property, like in the bank account, like time deposit. All of these things can be done on public blockchain.
But we can't really, okay, continue please.
So that's how I see in the future, right? How I see the future of public blockchain is a banking system. And if you look at the banking system now, right? Every country have a bank.
Okay, for sure, yes.
Yeah, every major region have a bank. There are a few like very famous bank which have the international brand, like Citibank.
For example.
And that's what I think about the public blockchain space. There will be a lot of public blockchain.
Yes.
Because they will be the role, they will play the role of the bank in the future.
Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Is that what you
so
think?
I think there will be like multiple public blockchain.
So may I just interject here? So if this vision is true, all these public blockchains, they start to take over the banks, like you said. You think the banks will take it lying down? Would they just sit there and say, yes, take my business away? Like, what do you think is really going to happen? Because, let me finish. These guys, right, the banking industry, they're huge.
Yeah.
They've got money, they've got political power, they've got money in the bank, and also they have a good brand, an establishment, physical establishment and stuff. And then when you say that public blockchains are able to take over this, maybe it is the other way around. Maybe the banks are able to take over the public blockchains, or maybe they produce their own public blockchains. Because if we look at the industry reports from Huobi Pro, right, we have weekly reports from Huobi Pro, and there's always news development where we analyze the news, analyze the ongoing trends and ongoing industry developments, right? The banks are really starting to get their act together in creating their own, well, first it's permission blockchain, but they're doing some tests. And they are also hiring and stealing developers from the blockchain industry. So what do you think about that?
I think, the whole market cap right now of cryptocurrency is, I think, like 350 billion. It's just about one big bank, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So it's like tiny comparing to the whole banking system.
Of course.
So I think that's why a lot of people compare the blockchain industry now is like just 1992 version of the internet. We still need like a decade or 2 decades to really become something significant.
And what do you think? Sorry, what do you think this event is going to be? What do you think is going to be the Big Bang? Or do you think we have already passed the Big Bang? Because in December 2017, so just last year, in December, it was crazy, if you turn on the TV, you're a normal guy, like my grandmother, she turns on the TV, on CNBC, they are talking about Bitcoin, they're talking about blockchain, everybody in the public, you get the news from from all the news channels, right? People who don't know about blockchain, they're all talking about blockchain, and that I felt was like the Big Bang, right? That suddenly everyone is paying attention to it, and it was the news for 1 month, and then they start talking about whatever the news always talk about. So do you think that we will have another kind of Big Bang in this way?
I think for mainstream users, most of them have already heard about Bitcoin somewhat. They may heard about, like half of them heard about blockchain or Ethereum. I think there is still a long way to go until we have like mainstream application that is used by a lot of users. I think the Big Bang is not happening yet because like in 2014 there was also a run up in the December 14.
Yes.
I thought it's very like everyone already know about blockchain and Bitcoin at that point, but actually 95% of population didn't know about blockchain then
Actually,
and Bitcoin then. And so I think we have run up, but it's still tiny. If you look at like how many people are actually having Bitcoin or like a cryptocurrency wallet, it's still tiny.
I recall, because yesterday when we had Huobi Yuan from Huobi Pro Academy of Blockchain Applications, he was giving a keynote speech yesterday, and he mentioned about the amount of unique Ethereum addresses in this
How
world.
many?
I can't say the number now, but I do remember that it is only 0.5% of the amount of internet users in this world. So not even 1%, half of 1%. So I think I agree with you on this point that blockchain adoption and blockchain accepting still has a long way to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes actually it's a technology, and you don't need the users to know that it's blockchain technology. You don't need them to know that this is how it works, right? Because for example, let's think of Steemit. Steemit. Steemit, when you use it, you don't really know that it's on blockchain technology. You just use it like a normal social media app, right? So I guess that is kind of like what we are talking about and how it may feel like and how people are going to start adopting it in the future. But let's not talk about all these guys. Let's talk about TomoChain. We are getting a little bit philosophical now.
I think just a small piece I want to add, right? If you look at, for example, Japan, right? Spending and using Bitcoin is very popular in Japan already, right?
Yes.
But it's still a small part of total population who use blockchain and token and Bitcoin in this way. I think the model of Japan can be applicable for a lot of countries and a lot of reasons later on.
Yes, but I think Japan is also kind of unique. Well, now we are just humoring ourselves, right, talking about this. Japan is kind of unique because they are really accepting of the online world, right?
Yeah.
They use the phones with everything, and they are not very concerned with privacy issues, as far as I know, because I was living in Germany before, and they really don't like all this. It's always privacy first. So I think Japan is in this unique position where they can take advantage of it. I think they even accept taxes in cryptocurrency now. So if you accept taxes, then it is a legalized form of currency.
Bitcoin is a legal mean of payment in Japan.
Exactly. So so I want to go back to TomoChain, and we were talking about off-chain governance just now, right? And you also mentioned that we have the trilemma. We have scalability, safety, and decentralization.
Yeah.
So kind of you are sacrificing decentralization. Is that true?
In a way, yes, in a way, right? So for our POSV consensus algorithm, right, we only have like 99 full nodes. 99
full nodes. That's exactly the question I wanted to ask him. How many full nodes? And how do you select these 99 full nodes?
That is the voting coming in, right? So coin holder actually can vote for the master node. For example, a master node, a coin holder only needs like 10,000 Tomo to initiate a candidate.
Okay.
Right. So there will be like maybe several hundreds of candidates. But then the coin holder can vote for which candidate become a master node. We will go from top to the bottom. So we cap it at 99 to make sure that every masternode can pass the technical requirement necessary to run the network.
So actually, it's only technical requirements that you look at. Do you not look at the branding and the reputation of the firm, or do you look at maybe other factors such as whether they have a malicious past in before? Like, is it only technical requirements? Is my question.
Yeah.
Only
Technical requirement. The idea here is that, like Satoshi already said, right? The idea here is we need to build a system in which each party don't need to trust each other, and still working together well, and create a sustainable and stable network. And that's what we are doing in TomoChain as well. If the candidate can pass the technical requirement, right? The technical requirement is actually run automatically by our program. Then they can become the masternode if they have enough stake.
Well, last question on consensus, right?
Yeah.
Is what is the how would I put it? What is the amount of elections? How often are the elections? Not amount, yeah. How often will the elections be? Will they be continuous, or are you gonna hold them once every 2 years, 4 years? Like
No, I think it's the count on the block number block, right? The list, we have the monitoring system that we are building right now. That monitor all the candidate and the masternode. So after, like, I think we are deciding the number at the moment, but after like maybe 1,000 block, the system will recalculate which one has a masternode. The voting can be done continuously. So if you vote for masternode, your coin will be held for 1 month, right? And after 1 month, you can withdraw and vote for other candidate.
Okay. All right, great. So, complete change of topic. Today is the second day of Blockchain Festival, presented by Huobi Pro. And I would like to ask you, what do you think of this event so far?
I think it's really well organized and wonderful opportunity for a lot of startup investor and also enthusiasts coming together and talk about blockchain, listen about blockchain. Right? So yeah, I love the events.
Speaking of enthusiasts, I was grabbing coffee just now, and I heard two students right behind me, and they were talking about the jobs that were available in Blockchain Festival Vietnam. So
I
to
think
the viewers, the viewers back home, we have we have managed to get a couple of projects to come together and to also post jobs that they are looking for. So there are job titles, and also I think we have more than 25 projects with more than 75 jobs available today, where you can just walk into the booth and give your CV, give your resume, and say, hey, I would like to interview for position ABC. And the live interview will happen right then. And if you get a job or not, it's all up to them. But my question for TomoChain, for Long, is how many people have you interviewed today?
We actually have a booth downstairs, right? So we actually talk to several students.
Okay.
Yeah. But because Ho Chi Minh City, we don't have the office in Ho Chi Minh City yet. So we looking for like if they can do programming remotely. Yeah.
So where's your office?
We have an office in Hanoi and an office in Singapore. The engineering team is mostly stay in Hanoi.
In Hanoi.
Yeah.
So if you are based in Hanoi, well, it's not if you are based in Hanoi. Were you kind of disappointed when you found out that we are holding Blockchain Festival Vietnam in Ho Chi Minh City and not in Hanoi?
No, I think we actually like to fly here.
Visit the other side of Vietnam a little bit.
Right?
Yes, it is. And speaking of opportunities, what do you think are the opportunities for the students or rather for the young people of Vietnam to enter the blockchain industry? Because as far as I know, from Huobi Pro, we've got data that shows that Vietnam has one of the highest trading activity and one of the highest registrations. Right? And that's why we are here in Vietnam today as the first station for Blockchain Festival. So Blockchain Festival is a series of conferences that's going to be held all around the world. And the first station was Vietnam, is Vietnam. And so, what do you think of the scene for blockchain in Vietnam?
It's kind of vibrant. There are investors, there are traders, there are engineers, and also there are like the app developer and startups. And like you said, on the trader side, right, there's a lot of trading activities in Vietnam. But I think so we also have very strong base of engineering, right? So it's Vietnam could be a place that producing a lot of software for the blockchain industry in the future.
Yes, yes, yes. It really seems that way because how many people do you have in Vietnam? 92 million?
Population?
Yeah, population.
About 90.
About 90.
90 million.
I did my homework, guys. So yeah, about 90 million, and just how many people you think of this 90 million actually know about blockchain?
It's hard to say, right? Because I don't think we have done any official survey or something,
Yes.
right? But most have heard about Bitcoin. And
Yes,
actually,
definitely.
there's a few program about blockchain and as a technology and cryptocurrency on the national television. So I think the blockchain industry is very well covered in Vietnam.
So today we have the demo festival happening after lunch, where we have projects coming up to demo what they have managed to do. There may be prototype or a product or to show you something, right? And TomoChain is one of them in the demo festival. Can you tell everybody what time it is and maybe also a sneak preview of what you're going to talk about? Just a sneak preview.
I think I'm going to have a presentation, I think at 2:30 today, right? This is an introduction to TomoChain, right?
Okay.
How can we solve the scalability problem and what is our approach? And we are going to say a little bit about our technical advantage comparing to other blockchain.
Okay, so I understand that your community is watching this. Hopefully, they're watching this live stream today. Exclusive interview with TomoChain CEO Long. And do you have any message or announcements that you want to make to everybody that's listening here today?
All right, so this is also kind of expected, but we have a plan to release a new technical paper focusing on our consensus algorithm, the POSV. Next week, we also producing our new product roadmap for 2018 and 2019 next week.
All right. So 2018 and 2019, you have already finalized it. So maybe you want to tell us maybe one or two key items for the viewers back home.
Of course, like I told you, like the POSV, because algorithm is one thing.
Yeah.
We have one more thing that would be could be a surprise.
It could be a surprise. Now I'm really very curious what it is. Maybe when they turn off the cameras, we can talk about it. So, other than this, you have a business roadmap, you have technology roadmap, and all the information that people want to find out about TomoChain. Where can they do it? How can they do it?
So our official website is now at tomochain.com, right?
TomoChain.com. That's TomoChain.com. And
Yes.
if they want to join the Telegram group, do you have a Telegram community?
Yeah, we have the Telegram group. We have like 17,000 members. So if you want to follow our updates, join the Telegram.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really want to know what this announcement, this secret announcement is. I feel like maybe it's to do with...
It's a little bit, it's just...
to be so secretive about it, it has to be, you know what it is.
Not secretive, but we want to hold it together.
Is
until,
it business related or technology related?
It's technology related.
Ah, okay. All right. So, to everyone watching back home, this is Long, CEO of TomoChain, if you've just tuned in. And today we have a series of exclusive interviews of guests coming from Vietnam for Blockchain Festival Vietnam. I'm screwing up a bit. So right after this, we will have a short chat with Loy Lu, who is Kyber Network CEO and co-founder. And also right after that, we will have Byzantine Partners, a venture capital firm. And after that, we will have Tan from NIM. All right. So we're going to round it up. You know, if you have anything else you want to say, now is the time. And I can see that Loy is waiting here patiently for him to come on next. And the next interview is going to be done by Jack, which is our BD director of Huobi Pro. Right. So I'm just telling them first. It's like advertisement. All right. So we can continue. So we were having a really intense chat just now about the consensus. And now after that, we were talking about off-chain governance. Right?
Yeah.
And why do you think that this is the best way to do it? Why do you take it off the chain? Why do you leave it to humans and foundations?
That's actually what we are moving away from,
Oh.
right? That's what is why we are doing the POSV's consensus algorithm. Because with the masternode architecture, we can have a built-in governance.
Okay.
Yeah, so like the coin holder can vote for the masternode, and 99 masternode can vote for the major economic decision, like hard for economic policy, right? So I think that's the key reason we are moving from POA to POSVs. When we are working on the POA proof of authority consensus, we already have the really good performance on scalability. We do like 1,000 TPS. And we think that should be good enough, right, on the technical and scalability issue. But we want also a permissionless chain, right? Everyone can join in, and everyone can have a voice, and there is no central party making all the decision. And that's why we're moving to POSV. And we already have the white paper when we last year when we did the POR algorithm. But now we are moving to a new consensus.
So what are the kind of applications that you have currently on TomoChain? Maybe you can name me one.
We also have Big Bomb as our partner and one of the first DApp. They are working on advertising industry.
Advertising industry. Big Bomb is also here today in Blockchain Festival Vietnam, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes, they are.
I saw the booth. Yeah. So Big Bomb, and how did you get started with them?
I think we know each other for quite some time, right? And they are working on the decentralized platform for advertising for some time. Currently, they working on the Ethereum, but we talk, right? And I think they agree to work with TomoChain to test our system, right? And I think the TomoChain have inherently we faster, and we actually have cheaper price, cheaper transaction cost, and that's very natural for any DApp who want to reach the mainstream user to test with TomoChain.
Okay. And are there any other applications that you want to talk about?
We also working with Binkabi. Binkabi, who is doing like commodity trading, commodity marketplace, right? For Asia and Africa. It's a very also interesting project. Yeah. And we actually producing our own one of our own like decentralized app, focusing on the kind of knowledge sharing.
Kind of what, sorry?
Knowledge sharing and Q&A application.
Question and answer. Sharing. Oh, like something like Quora, is it?
Something, like Quora.
Something like Quora. So how is the activity on that thing?
Actually, we started with that Q&A app back in 2016. Okay. Right. We have really good interface, and we try to focus on building the community right now.
Okay. I'm focused on building the community. Well, Long, thank you so much for this interview. You know, we've talked in depth on a couple of issues, right? And I think I don't know about everyone back home, but I know that I have learned a lot about TomoChain. Right?
Thank you.
Yeah, really, I've learned a lot about TomoChain and also about what your vision for the blockchain industry should be and could be, right? And I can see that Jack and Loy are here. We're gonna get them. Where are they? Ah, yeah, these guys. Yeah, so thank you very much. I'm going to cut the interview now, and we're gonna cut back to the live stream.
Yeah.
All right, and
thank
before
you,
that-
Ronan, for
yes.
the interviewing, right? And thank you all the audience for listening.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it's that.